Have you ever thought about what life will feel like when the house becomes quiet, the phone stops ringing, and the people you love are busy living their own lives? It's a question that many of us tend to avoid, yet it's a reality that hits harder as we age. Loneliness isn't just something that might happen, it's becoming more and more common. Over 6 million Americans aged 65 and older live alone, and surveys show that 1 in 3 of us might face old age with little to no regular contact with family members. But here's the encouraging news. It's possible to prepare for a life that is full, vibrant, and fulfilling, no matter how much company you have around. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make that happen. I'm excited to share with you my personal 6-pillar system, a simple yet effective framework I developed in my 50s to ensure that my later years would be filled with purpose and meaning, free from regret. It was inspired by my Aunt Mary, who, at the age of 80, still sends me pictures of her blooming roses through her smartphone. She's the perfect example of how happiness in old age isn't just a stroke of luck, it's the result of careful preparation. From maintaining physical strength to discovering new passions, from achieving financial peace to building lasting, meaningful relationships, these 6 pillars are the key to transforming how you experience aging. And here's the best part. You need to stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to walk you through each of these 6 pillars with real, actionable steps that you can begin implementing today. The final pillar, the one that brings everything together, will likely surprise you and completely change how you envision your future. Don't wait for life to slow down. Stay with me as I show you how to build a life that remains full and vibrant, no matter how quiet it might become. Trust me, your future self will thank you for the actions you take today. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Your support means so much to me, and if you found this video helpful, please like and share it so I can continue to spread these valuable lessons to others. And if you're enjoying the topic, please leave a comment with 1 to let me know. If not, feel free to comment 0 and share what I can do to improve. I appreciate your feedback and will use it to create even better videos for you in the future. Now, let's dive in. We all hope that our children will visit us as we age, that our partners will remain by our side, and that our friends will always be there to lend an ear. However, reality often doesn't play out the way we expect. Children move away, partners pass on, and friendships sometimes fade into the background. One day, you may find yourself alone in a house that was once filled with laughter and life, now echoing with the ticking of the clock on the wall. Or you may find yourself sitting in an apartment with just a single chair at the table, the phone lighting up but never ringing. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, over 6 million Americans aged 65 and older live alone, and the trend is growing. More than 30% of these individuals don't see a family member even once a week. This means that, statistically, 1 in 3 of us will likely experience old age in solitude. I'm not saying this to frighten you, but to point out that being alone isn't an exception anymore. It's becoming the norm. Here's the key takeaway. It doesn't have to be a sad or empty experience. The real question isn't, will I be alone? But, am I prepared for it? Take my Aunt Mary, for example. Now in her 80s, she's become a role model for me, not because she's done everything perfectly, but because she began preparing early. Over the years, she built a small, self-sufficient world. Every morning, she visits the bakery and chats with the cashier. She started a book club with other women in their 70s. She even does light exercises in her living room to stay active. She's also learned to use a smartphone. Sometimes, she'll send me pictures of her blooming roses. What I've learned from Aunt Mary is that happiness in old age doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of preparation. That's why I created my system. When I was in my early 50s, I was still full of energy and deeply involved in my career, and my calendar was always packed with appointments and meetings. But deep down, I knew that one day, I wouldn't need that packed calendar anymore. One day, the phone would ring less. One day, my house would become quieter. I found myself asking, How do I want to live then? What will hold me steady when no one is stopping by? How will I stay fulfilled when the people I care about are living their own lives? From that question, my 6-pillar system was born. It's not some abstract idea from a self-help book, nor is it a gimmick. It's a practical, real-world foundation made up of 6 essential areas that sustain my life now and will continue to provide security as I grow older. Life will inevitably get quieter as we age, but it doesn't have to become emptier. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or even 70s, now is the time to start asking yourself the hard questions. Questions that no one else will answer for you down the line. Don't wait until someone is gone. Don't just hope things will fall into place. Start building today for tomorrow. That's exactly what this video is all about. I'll walk you through each of the 6 pillars, one by one. From physical health to mental flexibility, from meaning and passion to building lasting relationships. And I promise you this, I'm saving the most important pillar for last. It's the one that ties everything else together, and I believe it will change how you look at your future. So stick around to the end and take a moment to reflect on which pillar in your life is already strong, and which one you may need to focus on strengthening. First, physical health. A strong body supports a free and fulfilling life. I'm starting with this pillar for a reason, because, let's face it, if your body starts to fail, everything else you plan for can quickly fall apart. When your health isn't in a good place, it affects every aspect of your life. I learned this lesson the hard way. At 61, I found myself in the hospital. The diagnosis? An inflamed gallbladder, and I needed urgent surgery. I remember feeling terrified before the operation. The uncertainty, the vulnerability, I wasn't prepared for any of it. And after the surgery, I was completely drained. I felt weak and sluggish. Suddenly, the things I had always taken for granted became difficult. Climbing the stairs, carrying laundry, even bending over to tie my shoes. It was the first time in my life that I truly felt old, and I didn't like it. Those weeks of recovery gave me a harsh reminder of how quickly our bodies can let us down if we're not taking care of them. That was the moment I made a promise to myself. This won't happen again. I want to be prepared. Since then, I've made physical health a priority. Not by signing up for extreme sports or pushing my body to the limits, but by making small, consistent changes that I can sustain. Every morning, I go for a walk. It's not a marathon, but I take my time, and often, I end up chatting with neighbors or strangers along the way. It's a great way to get moving and connect with people, even on a quiet morning. I also incorporate light strength exercises into my routine. Nothing too intense, just what my doctor recommended to keep my muscles strong and my joints flexible. I've learned that regular movement, no matter how simple, is crucial for your joints, heart, and even your mental well-being. It helps keep your body agile and your mind sharp. The days when I feel my best are the days when I've moved, even if it's just a little. In my kitchen, things have changed, too. There's a lot less sugar now, fewer processed foods, and much more color. I fill my cart with vibrant vegetables like carrots, beets, and broccoli. I buy whole grains like oats and lentils, and I've made walnuts a regular snack. Every Saturday, I head over to the local farmer's market with a reusable bag, taking my time to enjoy the process. I'm not obsessed with counting calories or following the latest diet trends. For me, it's about vitality, not perfection. I want to be able to plant flowers in my garden at 80 without pain, and I want to do it with a smile, not fear. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. A healthy body is not just about avoiding illness. It's about feeling good enough to live life on your terms. As we age, we have the power to make choices today that will ensure a future of mobility, freedom, and peace. It's not about being flawless. It's about being prepared. That's why physical health is the foundation of everything else I've built. Second, mental flexibility. Staying curious keeps you alive. It's easy to slip into the mindset that, as we age, there's no need to keep learning. I'm too old for that, we might think. That's for the younger generation. Things were better back in my day. But I've seen firsthand what happens when you stay open to new ideas and experiences. Just look at my Aunt Mary. At 80, she bought her very first smartphone. At 80. Can you imagine? Most people her age would have dismissed it, thinking it was too complicated or unnecessary. But Aunt Mary, she embraced the challenge. Now, she sends me voice messages. They're not perfect. Sometimes it sounds like a code I need to decode, but that's the beauty of it. She's trying. She's not letting age dictate what she can or can't do. That's what curiosity does. It keeps you young, keeps your mind agile, and keeps you excited about the world around you, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. I've taken a page out of her book. I've set a goal for myself. Learn something new every single month. Last year, I decided to take a course at my local community college on digital photo editing. Not because I wanted to become an influencer or make money off it, but because I wanted to restore some of the old vacation photos I found tucked away in a box. I wanted to bring those memories back to life. And that's not all. I've listened to philosophy podcasts, dug into the world of cryptocurrencies, and even enrolled in a local history course. Each new topic challenges my brain to think in different ways, and every time I feel a bit of mental strain, I know I'm growing. Your brain is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, you'll lose it. But when you keep challenging it, it stays sharp, flexible, and ready to adapt. Curiosity is like a lifeline. It keeps us engaged, keeps us connected to the world, and it's something we can all nurture, no matter our age. Mental flexibility is just as important as physical health. It's the key to staying young inside, no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated. Third, meaning and passion. What gets you out of bed in the morning? For many, the idea of retirement often brings to mind the image of a sunset, something that marks the end of the road, a slowing down of life. But I see it differently. Retirement isn't a sunset. It's a new morning. A new chapter with more time on your hands, and hopefully, more wisdom to guide you. When I retired, I'll admit, I fell into a bit of a slump at first. Suddenly, the days felt empty. There was no boss to answer to, no packed calendar of meetings, no reason to rush out the door each morning. For a while, I just drifted. I'll be honest, it was hard. But then, one day, I asked myself, what used to excite me? What did I always want to do but never had the time for? And the answer came quickly: photography. I've always loved taking pictures, capturing moments, and seeing the world through a lens. I also had a passion for writing stories, weaving words together with images. So I bought a used camera from a local shop, and I started wandering the streets, observing how the light played off the buildings, and how shadows shifted through the trees. It wasn't about creating masterpieces. It was about being present, finding beauty in the world around me. Soon after, I began writing short pieces. First for myself, just jotting down thoughts and ideas. Then I started a small blog, which at the time was read by a handful of people, about 10 to be exact. But guess what? Today, tens of thousands of people watch my videos, engage with my stories, and leave comments. It's surreal, honestly. But you know what? I feel more alive than ever. Passion doesn't have to be about fame or grandeur. It just has to be real. Maybe you love making homemade jam, building birdhouses in your garage, or tutoring kids with their math homework. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it brings you joy. If it makes you smile, that's enough. Because a day filled with meaning, no matter how simple, is never a day wasted. Whether it's rediscovering old hobbies, trying something new, or embracing a new project, it's the passion we bring to those moments that truly keeps us going. The key is to never stop asking yourself what you can do to make each day count. Because when you live with purpose, you'll never feel like time is slipping away. Fourth, financial independence. Freedom starts with your wallet. I know, just the mention of money can make people uncomfortable. Many of us have heard it, or maybe even thought it ourselves. I should have started saving earlier. I don't have enough saved up. It's too late for me. But I want to reassure you, financial freedom isn't about having more wealth, it's about having peace. Inner peace. Take it from me. My wife, Karen, and I made a big decision years ago. We sold our large house. It was 3 stories, 5 bedrooms, and just too big for 2 people. It wasn't that the house wasn't beautiful, but we realized it was more space than we needed. Now, we live in a cozy 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony that overlooks the river. Instead of spending our weekends mowing the lawn, we sip coffee on our balcony and read, enjoying the view and each other's company. You'd think that downsizing would make life feel smaller, but actually, it's been the opposite. Our fixed costs are now halved. No more giant property taxes or hefty utility bills. And our peace of mind? Doubled. We spend less, but we feel so much richer in what truly matters. Along the way, I also found a little hobby that brings me joy. I visit flea markets on weekends, hunting for old postcards, rare stamps, vintage books, things that spark a sense of nostalgia and wonder. Some of these treasures I sell online, not because I need the extra income, but because it's fun. And who doesn't appreciate a little extra cash in their pocket now and then? But here's the key takeaway. It's not about accumulating more things or more money. It's about simplifying your life. Simplifying doesn't mean sacrificing. It means focusing on what truly adds value to your life. True financial security doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. If you want to experience freedom in retirement, the real shift comes from understanding that peace comes from balance, not excess. It's about making intentional choices that align with your values and your goals, rather than the pressure of keeping up with more stuff, bigger houses, or larger bank accounts. Financial freedom is the ability to live comfortably and contentedly with less, knowing you have everything you need right in front of you. Fifth, spiritual depth. Peace begins within. I'm not religious in the traditional sense. I don't attend church every Sunday or follow a specific set of rituals. But that doesn't mean I don't have a deeply spiritual side. I've carved out a place for myself, a quiet corner of my life, where I can just be still, reflect, and reconnect with myself. I have a special spot in a park near my home. It's a peaceful little place where a narrow path winds along a small creek. I visit often, standing there, listening to the soft sound of the flowing water, and feeling the breeze gently touch my face. In those moments, everything feels small yet deeply meaningful. There's a sense of connection to the world around me, as if everything in the universe is perfectly aligned for a brief moment of peace. For the past few years, I've been diving into old texts, philosophical works by Seneca, the teachings of Confucius, and a modern favorite, The Path by Michael Poot, a professor at Harvard. These books have taught me an important lesson. Grand happiness doesn't come from external achievements or material success. It comes from the small, everyday rituals and a quiet presence in our lives. The warm comfort of a cup of coffee in the morning. A kind word shared with a neighbor. A calm glance out the window at the changing seasons. Spiritual depth isn't about dogma or rigid rules. It's about letting go of the need to control everything around you and learning to find peace in the simplicity of life. When you cultivate this inner peace, you're never truly lost, even if you're alone. You learn to be content with your own company, and that's a powerful gift. It's a gift that brings us to the sixth and final pillar, the one that holds everything else together. No matter how healthy you are, how curious or passionate you've become, or how grounded you are spiritually, there's still one essential thing you need in life: people. Not just anyone, though. Not a crowd or a full social calendar, but the right people. The people who will stand by you, support you, and fill your life with meaning. Sixth, social connection. We need people. Not many, just the right ones. I'll never forget a conversation I had with my neighbor, Betty, who was 74 at the time. She was widowed and childless. One afternoon, while she was watering her flowers on her balcony, she said something that stuck with me. "You know, I used to think I had many friends, but now I realize I just had many contacts." Those words hit me like a quiet echo. We live in a world where, with just a few clicks, we can reach hundreds of people online. But how many of those people would actually be there for us when we need them the most? True closeness isn't digital. It's built through shared time, real conversations, and just being there for one another. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As I look back, in my 40s, my calendar was always full. Business lunches, networking events, parties, and endless new faces. Yet, I realized something important. With most of these people, if I disappeared tomorrow, they'd probably only notice when I stopped responding to their emails or texts. We were all busy, yes, but how many of them could I truly count on? Now that I'm in my 60s, my circle is much smaller. I might only have 4 close friends, but let me tell you, those 4 are the right ones. They'd come at 3 a.m. if I needed them. They bring me soup when I'm sick, and they listen, really listen, when I talk about my fears and anxieties. I try to do the same for them, always. Friendship in old age isn't a coincidence, it's a choice. If you're sitting there thinking, "But I don't have anyone like that," I want to tell you, it's never too late. You have to take the first step. Go out and put yourself out there. Not to impress, not to get likes, but to simply be yourself. A few years ago, I took a photography course at a community college, not to make new friends, but because I was genuinely passionate about photography. And you know what happened? 2 of the other students, Rachel and Paula, have become my closest confidants. We meet for walks along the river, share recipes, laugh, and sometimes even cry. These connections aren't grand or spectacular, but they're real. If you sit around waiting for someone to knock on your door, it could get very quiet. So, go first. Sign up for a local class, join a book club, volunteer at a community center, or just start going to the same cafe every day at the same time. People will start recognizing your face. It takes courage, yes, but it's worth it. Because what you build isn't just a social circle, it's a safety net. Here's the truly remarkable thing. When you start living by these 6 pillars, health, curiosity, passion, financial calm, spiritual depth, and connection, it doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of those around you. You become an anchor for others. For your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors. They see how you live, and without even realizing it, you may become a role model for them. Not through grand speeches, but through your everyday serenity, dignity, and quiet strength. You're building a foundation for tomorrow, one brick at a time. It may seem overwhelming at first. 6 pillars, an entire system for life. But remember, a house isn't built in a day. Every brick matters, and every small step counts. A walk today, a new recipe tomorrow, a kind word to the cashier the next day, a phone call to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, a note in your calendar to learn something new. You don't need a fancy concept or an app to get started. You just need to resolve it. In the end, it's not about how many likes you get, how much money is in your bank account, or how long your resume is. It's about whether you have peace in your heart, whether you wake up with a sense of purpose, whether you fall asleep with gratitude, and whether you can honestly say, "I've lived my way." We've covered a lot today. The 6 pillars that can truly transform your life as you age. From maintaining physical health to finding passion and purpose, from securing financial peace to building deep, meaningful connections, it's clear that the way we approach life can make all the difference in how we live it. So, what have you learned today? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you've learned that you're going to start putting into practice in your own life? Whether it's taking better care of your health, learning something new, or connecting more deeply with the people around you, I want to know how you plan to implement these pillars. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means a lot to me, and I'm so glad we're on this journey together. Thank you for watching, and remember, you have the power to build a future that's rich with purpose, no matter how quiet it gets.